Hello Tubesters, if I had a drum I'd do a drum roll. It's Gav, welcome to another one of my videos. We've finally got the 18mm Prussian from 1806 project with a reveal video for at least for the Cavalry unit. This is for myself. It's where I started, I believe, with the channel, doing 18mm AB Napoleonics. Sold them all off over the time. Obviously paint Napoleonics for other people, and I just wanted my own 18mm ABs again because they're probably my favourite figures of all. And I was deciding, do I go back to because I did British Peninsula before, and I just like the different colours and stuff of the Prussians, but I call it Prussia 1806 project because there will be some Saxons and there will be some French, so you know, it's a bit of a mix, but at the moment I'm concentrating on Prussians. So Graf Henckel Regiment. I mix the horses up with some blacks and some dark bays. Plumes, as I said, I've gone a bit over the top probably. I know that the plumes were quite large on these cavalrymen, but they probably are a bit big, but I can live with that. And I'll probably get taken to task over the swords, they're being a bit big, long in other words. So I changed the swords around, made them out of paper clips, and obviously flattened them out and sharpened them up. And I haven't tried to solder these ones because I just put giant blob of solder over the hilts, the basket of the sword down here, and they're because I've drilled a hole nice and neat in there, they hold quite well with super glue, so they'll be fine. Anything else I do? No, I put again, too large really. You know, I should know by now, but I'm still learning. I think we all do. I added a cloak over the top, or greatcoat over the top of the portmanteau, out of putty, and they're too big really, but again we'll try and address that with the Dragoon regiment that I've got coming up. I opened up the shabraquet on some of them, just to show, especially those that have got a bit more movement, just to show like the movement and the horse flapping the shabraquet up. I thought that would be a nice extra feature. I've opened the reins up underneath, as you can see, and I think that's about it. I've gone, it said like I think it's wine dreg red or something. I've interpreted it as best I can. I added a tiny tint of yellow into the white because it said like they had like a yellow twill in it. You can't really see it here, but there's a very slight tint of yellow in the white jackets. And I put the decorative sleeve, which is the red and white sash that you see there. It's actually to the cartridge box at the back. This is for the guys that don't really follow this type of stuff, but there's a cartridge box at the back with the ammunition in, and the red and white sleeve went over the top of the strap, for a better word, more for ceremonial, and I don't know if they actually wore them on campaign or not, but I decided to add them there. And my figures, you know, you just do what you want to do. I just thought it would add a nice touch. So that's those. Bases, I can't remember now. They are written down. Actually, it might still be written here. Or they might not. I've got them somewhere, written down on here. Somewhere. Nah, I'm not going to go through it all. Yeah, MDF bases from War Bases is my go-to base supplier, and they're the people I bought those that German barn. I will do some stage photographs with that and mix it up a bit. Officer, obviously in the centre. I say the sabres probably are a tad long, but I like them. They give a nice presence, and The trumpeter, I did my best. I got some good advice from the guys that left a couple of comments when I asked ages ago, and I've just gone with what, you know, that was the best I could make out of the information I'd got. So this is what I've gone with for the trumpeter. I've given the regimental colour there, so flag, rather than the colonel's flag. Normally they have like a, or a lot of them have a colonel's flag and a regimental flag, and often the colonel's flag, the regimental flag would be in a different. They like the colonel's flag will be at the front, and they'd often call this the retreat flag, just so that the regiment could rally round. But I couldn't put two on. And I decided rather than the colonel's flag, because they're fairly generic, the colonel's flags, whereas the regimental flags are quite flamboyant with the Prussians, so or the early Prussian Napoleonics. So I've gone with that. So they've got the and the flag, the colour of the colour. So the flag colour doesn't often bear much resemblance to the actual colours of the unit themselves. So if these are like a dark red, they've got a yellow colour. The officers would have a black base to the plume, which you can just about see, only a small one, and the NCOs would, because the NCOs carry the colour on this, and that's black. And I've got his cane there. NCOs on Prussian units had canes, well, a lot of German units. I've put a bit of scatter, just a bit of potted scatter on, like discarded backpacks. They don't look particularly good, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'd do that again. I haven't put any flowers on these because of the, yeah, I just didn't put any on. I thought it would look better, a bit more dirt on these ones. Oh, and I posed the arms on these. I didn't move any heads because the heads were all in sufficient poses, left, rights, up, downs, all that. So I didn't do that. But I did move the arms gently around. You can do that if you're very careful. And that's what I did. So I've given the arms all a certain extra, you know, they're just slightly forward, slightly up, down, you know, all that type of stuff. So there's a fair bit went into those. Now, I'll just give you a quick look at the infantry unit I'm painting at the moment, which is the 24th Musketeer Regiment. I had to replace his plume, that had broken off, as they often do with the ABs. Again, it might be too big, but I'm happy with that. I don't think I had to do anything else. I had to drill the reins out. And clear, there's always a bit of infill around the scabbard of the sword and the leg. You normally have to drill that and file that out. Tried to get us sitting as far down as I could. Obviously putted out around the shabriquet, get the gaps out of that. But that's all. Oh, and I had to replace obviously his sword as that. I'm learning putting the curves in the swords, and I've ended up bending that. Well, not bending it. I was trying to get a curve in rather than trying to cut it out, say with a jeweler's saw or something, or a coping saw. I made them the same way as I did the straight heavy cavalry swords, and then tried to file it a bit. So that's my mounted colonel. Now, as you know, I've been attempting to do soldering of the bayonets and of these. This is a sergeant and a spittoon. It's like a pike type of thing that he carries as a. It's almost like a badge of rank, and with it he can, if a unit's wavering a bit, he'd put it into the. I don't mean into the backs with a pointy end, but you use it literally to form up a unit. Horizontal, and it stops, and the sergeant can either put it in front to stop a unit going forward too quickly, or he can put it at the back, as I say, if they're wavering. And it's also, and with the German units again, you've got the cane, which is a badge of rank. The problem is this is supposed to. I've got one here. That's what it's supposed to look like. Obviously, mine don't look anything like that. I'm learning soldering. What I should have done with this guy here is, this is all the same paperclip wire and it's too thick, so the minute I try and bend it, it's too small for me to really bend, and it sits too proud. So when I put the solder on, we get this this here, and I can't really file much more away without it breaking off. I can't bend it without it breaking off. So the next unit I do, when I get myself some more in the new year, I will put some thinner metal on this part here so I can get that bend, because it just looks like he's got a cross or something. And I don't think, I keep telling myself the paint will make it look a bit better, but I don't think it will. So yeah, he's all primed up. What I stuffed up with on this unit, which I'm going to have to, which is what this guy's out for, I'm going to have to turn this guy into a colour bearer. See how wonky these get? That's why it's always best to try and replace them with some wire. The problem I have is a lot of the time the paper clips just aren't on the long bit that I use. Could do with being another few mil longer. But I started painting the Musketeers. The 24th does, again, we've got like this orangey red type of colours and cuffs, we call the facing colours, and yet the colour itself is a lovely green and white one. So, no idea, but he's a colour bearer. I've just used the same and I've flattened it out. I'm trying to find a way that I make these better, because that's just like a sharpened thing, and it is a bit more decorative than that. So it's like a flat spear shape at the top. But I'm going to have to take this off and convert him as a colour bearer and have two colours, because for some reason I didn't do that. Now I'm painting all these in grey trousers. Some had grey, some had like a tan type colour. This particular one is grey. I'm not going to, I don't think they were on campaign long enough to start messing around with different colour trouser choices. It was a fairly short campaign, and I don't know if really they mixed up the trouser colours. So you know, as in when they wrecked one, they just have to get something from somewhere else. So I'm leaving these all fairly uniform. Now you can see here, this is one of my first attempts. You can see a giant gob there, which really detracts from everything. There's not much I can do. I wasn't going to start ripping them all off and trying again, because I knew I'd get better with the practice, and this is a slightly better one. I drilled out the top of the musket as well. It's going to take a couple of regiments before they look halfway decent. They're probably a bit long as well, but again, I don't mind that. Of course, the 24th has, instead of just having a cuff that I'd have to paint in, it has to have all a white background with a red zigzag. I can't do red zigzags at this scale without making the white piping around the edges wider than it would have been. So I've just hinted at it with some red. These little cones have got, in this case, it's like an orangey beige that I'm looking at. I'm not getting all this reference from my Jena Austadt book, so blame them if it's wrong. And then it's got a blue line, and then a white, and then a red dot in the middle, and the same at the end. But there are different variants to the different regiments. Some of the regiments will have a cuff flap going up rather than these white bits here. It really just depends. As you can see, a work in progress still. Done his gaiters, boots. Boots need one more coat. The hat, or bicorn. So yeah, they're not far off. But they're going to take a while. I'll just do them as I fancy doing them. Here's another one, not unpainted, just primed. And you can see the where I'm attaching the bayonets with solder and filing them. Some are better than others. I reckon it's going to take me about 4 or 5 units before I get it down to acceptable. I mean, that one's a right state, but again, one of my early ones, and to try and get in there, I end up losing the bayonets, and it was taking that long to do stuff. I just said, Gav, you've got to, you know, use the amount that you're doing to get better. You know, you can't just keep spending days and nights, you know, just soldering the same figures, because it would have just worn me out in the end. So I've gone with that. I mean, that one's not as bad. They've got tan musket, or like an orangey tan slings for the muskets rather than white. And I don't know if I've got one. I should have one here somewhere. Let's have a look if it's, yeah. This little, if you're wondering, this little piece down here is an axe, and they've got it going up there. So if you wonder, if you get these and you're wondering what that little square is, it's an axe, and it'll have probably a black leather. This piece here is black leather for the actual metal part to sit in, and the axe is just for obviously cutting up firewood and stuff. It's not on them all. I say Anthony Barton's done a sterling job with these. But yeah, you know, as I say, yes, the giant bayonet attachments can detract, but we're getting there. I mean, again, you know, bit by bit, we'll get it to a stage where it's you know, it's acceptable. So thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. I'll put a few photographs in at the end. As I say, it's taken ages just to get these completed. I wander off and do other things, as we know. So these musketeers, to get into just for the painting, never mind the priming, soldering bayonets, cleaning them and all that, the actual, sorry, Archie's woken up and he's having a wander around. The painting itself has probably taken, to get them to that stage, yeah, it's probably about 8 hours, something like that. Probably more than that, probably 10. So it's not a quick fix. I'm just deciding with me Prussian blues where I wanted to go, so that might change in the next regiment, or the next. Well, try not to change on the next figures, because I want to make them all look roughly the same. But yeah, we've got cross belts and everything still to go, and obviously the haversacks and stuff. But yeah, I think thinking they're looking fairly decent. I say, yeah, as I say, they do detract, I know, with some of the huge musket attachments like that one. But as I say, we live and learn. And when they're, I mean, I've just put those back on the bench. Obviously, looking down at them, when they're all ranked up from a distance, you probably, all right, clutching at straws, but probably won't see so much problem in them. Right. Not bad difference, is it? Hot rod book on the last video, and no Napoleonics on this one at 18mm. So coming up, I'll every so often I'll throw this Musketeer Regiment up, especially once these first 8 are done. But I'll, you know, as I do them, I'll obviously throw the odd one up. The only Prussians that I've got left, because I've got a Dragoon regiment to do, so I will be doing those after the Musketeers. So I'll probably be doing those in February time, January time, I don't know, and at that time buy another couple of units, probably just infantry this time. So yeah, what's coming up? Hopefully we'll have a reveal on the 1 in 24 hot rod, the 429 Roadster. I should have a kit coming in for an unboxing this week as well. It'll be another car model. What else? There should be an update at some stage, not probably to the weekend, you never know, of HMS Avenger, because I'm going to have a good session on that one this afternoon. And that's it. So thank you very much. Hope is all going well with you. I've got a couple of I've got a shout out video also to do, probably in the next few days. So look after yourselves. Thanks again for all the kind words and support, and the was it them thumbs up pressing and all the rest of it. That's really kind of you. And we will catch each other soon on another video.